Welcome to the Popish Plot. I am Nate.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Mike.
Today we're back with another installment of our Defense of the Defendant, where we talk about the essays of G.K. Chesterton that were compiled into the book, The Defendant.
Yes.
Today's episode is Slang.
Yay!
So, Jess, you seem very excited about Slang.
I like this one.
Ooh. Wait, are there others you didn't like? Or you just particularly liked this one?
I particularly like this one.
You haven't sworn a vendetta against ugly things?
No.
Or China Shepherdesses or useful information?
I think she enjoyed China Shepherdesses.
About China Shepherdesses. They don't really do anything. That's their whole point. They just stand there.
But then it's a whole another episode.
Yep.
Literally, it'll be over Nate's shoulder.
Probably.
So,
Here.
you particularly liked Slang.
Yes.
Tell us why.
Well, as it happens to be Black History Month, and we live in Flint, so an area that's very racially diverse.
Yes.
Every day when I go to pick up my youngest from school, there's a wall of, like 5-year-olds dressed up as their heroes of African American history.
Sure.
And, there's what you would expect, some civil rights leaders, some abolitionists.
Pierre Toussaint?
No.
Dang.
No. They do have Madam C.J. Walker, who sold hair tonic, unlike cutting hair, and was the first self-made female millionaire, but I don't think I saw him.
Ah.
Okay.
But there's one that I always see every time because it catches my eye because I am a child of the 80s, and it looks so cute. A bunch of 4-year-olds that are dressed up as Run DMC.
But before he was Reverend Run?
Yes, he's a legit minister.
I'm not saying he's not.
But, and this made me think of the one on Slang because it is talking about the poetry of words and about how any cabman has to be ready with his tongue, as any gentleman of the last century had to be ready with his sword.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's one genre of music and art that does that, it is rap, where you have actual rap battles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where you will see the finest mental adroitness and lyrical agility on display anywhere.
Yes.
I do love watching rap battle shows.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I love watching fictitious rap battles.
The only fictitious rap battles I've ever seen are in the film 8 Mile, and then, curiously, in the William Shakespeare-based TV show Will, where he had a rap battle with a member of the aristocracy.
There's a few channels out there that have done rap battles between historical figures that never could have taken place, let alone would have.
Yes, but...
We can go watch some later.
Yes. But,
No, don't watch anything but the Popish Plot.
okay.
I said we could. They have to stay right here.
Yes, but it made me think about this because although we joke about you live in a town that's French for the big white, when I was little, I went from living in the middle of nowhere to a town that we referred to as Hickville. Like, that was the step up.
The big city of 2000.
Yeah. It had
Maybe.
more than that, I think. But, it was still very rural.
Mm-hmm.
So, the first rap I ever saw was, of course, when Run DMC did the crossover with Aerosmith.
Walk this way. Yes.
And therefore introducing to a bunch of people who had never actually listened to rap music.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm reading this going,
Ah.
yes, wordsmiths.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chesterton would have loved rap.
I think he would have appreciated the art form.
Yes,
Well,
there's...
not necessarily some of the more, graphic language used by a number of rappers. But not everyone uses that language. I mean, there are even Christian rappers.
Absolutely.
And in fairness,
Absolutely.
I think we should point out that when Mr. Chesterton is talking about defending slang, that is really more what he is defending. It is it is clever wordplay and use of words in an artistic fashion, as opposed to what some people can now pull off in our world, which is strings of profanity so long that they somehow manage to count as entire paragraphs.
Well, from the same paragraph as Jess quoted from, their readiness, that of the cabman, is the product of the same fiery individualism as the readiness of the old fighting oligarchs. And that is what I like best about slang. I undertook an endeavor many decades ago to develop the peculiar pattern of speech that I use today. And several years ago, I decided...
So you weren't just dropped on your head as a child?
That also.
Okay.
And several years ago, I decided that I would attempt to stop swearing. And by that I mean using profanity, curse words, what have you. Because it's much more interesting if I can come up with a complex and probably humorous way of expressing myself instead of just dropping an F-bomb. And it keeps me more mentally alert. Mm-hmm. It's when I'm tired and frustrated that I'm most likely to slip back into the bad old uniform swear words. Whereas when I'm, feeling myself, I'll pepper my speech with odd insults.
And see, that's always been my thing with slang. Is I was a young man once who became accustomed to having a very foul mouth, to the point where people actually would look at me and say, "Could you try not using such harsh language?" But what I found is that in numerous cases, myself and many other people, they use profanity for its own sake. And there's an artistry to the use of slang as it's being defended here.
A poetry, as he says again and again.
Exactly. It's not that their words are profane. It's simply that their words are not what you would normally use to convey that thought. Mm-hmm. And he really does. He by defending this usage of slang, he really does good justice to an argument that I have made with other people, that quite oftentimes we have things in our popular culture that are, I'd say, peppered with profanity, but nobody puts that much pepper on their food. At least not if they want to enjoy it. But the comment...
You never saw my grandpa eat cottage cheese, did you?
Well,
it was black.
But the argument I made was that if they had actually designed the speeches specifically to get around having used those words, they could have had their dialogue and their monologues would actually be much more artistic than what they are.
And I think that's the core of what Chesterton's getting at with slang.
Yeah.
That it produces individuality and unique expression and art, as opposed to when we all speak in a uniform way, when we flatten the language, we're robbing ourselves of a lot of our inherent human dignity.
We've taken out the peaks and the valleys.
Now, we are meant to do so as far as sin and whatnot.
Yes.
But not as far as being who we are. What is it that I think Irenaeus said? The glory of God is man fully alive. One of the fathers, the Bishop Barron.
Somebody said that, yeah.
I think you are correct in who it is. We'll have it as the slide next week for, church. It'll have nothing to do with what the mass readings are. Just it's there.
Well, plus, if you put it up in Latin, no one will be able to read it.
Oh, I don't have it in Latin. I have it in English.
We can probably find it.
Maybe we can get Billy to make that for us. In any event, please, leave a comment below. The more slang-filled, the better. Possibly so that we can't even understand it. That would be ideal.
Yes.
Well, as he's British, you could do, Cockney rhyming slang, and I'd have no idea what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because there's, 5 steps to decode it.
I once tried to read Trainspotting, which is written the way the characters speak.
Oh.
I got about 4 paragraphs in.
Did you have a splitting headache?
I did, and I think I may have tossed the book across the room.
All right.
That's fair. Remember, while you're down there leaving us comments, to hit the subscribe button and the bell right next to it so you'll know when the next one of these episodes comes out. Hit that like button because everybody who's seen our show likes our show as far as I can tell.
And lots of people who haven't seen our show would like it if only someone would share it with them.
So go ahead, share this with your friends, with your family members. And until next time, remember...
Wait. Next time will be a defense of baby worship.
Ooh.
So come back for babies.
Wait. People are worshiping babies?
All the time.
I'm pretty sure that's against one of the 10 Commandments.
Quiet, you.
And until next time, remember to live your faith.
Love your faith.
Share that love.
Y'all.
Yo, what it be? Welcome to the Popish Plot.
The aristocrats of the 19th century have destroyed entirely their one solitary utility. It is their business to be flaunting and arrogant.